Idolatry is the worst crime in the world. Yes, ascribing partners to God and ascribing ideas and things to God that are not from God is one of the worst things that you could do. Because you're taking the idea of the most dominant, most powerful, the strongest entity that you as a human being that you need to rely on, and you are purposely making it weak. Because the idea, the concept of God is bulletproof. The idea and the concept of God is as the best king where he can never be defeated, can never be broken. And you are making it into a rock or making it into a human where if you cut it, it bleeds, or it requires sustenance, or that 2/3 of God can survive incomplete because 1/3 died for 3 days. These concepts is a mental holocaust, especially if you're having a relationship with God, because you are no longer building off a relationship or a foundation. You are building upon delusions. It's just a ball of craziness. Anything that gets thrown at it, it starts to evolve into a way to just survive. It's like a cancer that needs to keep growing based upon these ideas that come and break it. And this is the problem with idolatry, why you become deaf, dumb, and blind. Because whatever is presented to you, where we need the standard to understand how you're thinking, that standard is not met. Words don't mean what they mean. And the passages in the text is not in the context that it's saying. And the words that you say that it's from God, they don't matter from just the surface level. There's always a reinterpretation or a deeper interpretation that is only your mind and your cult's mind is capable of deducing and understanding. But if the question is asked differently, then that same passage is explained in a different way. Because whatever shred of a lie that you can stand on that, hey, like, look, my idea is still kind of like capable of handling because I gave you an answer, but that answer is not part of reality or delusions, but I gave you an answer and I'm just going to stick to it. And that's what happens every time you talk to a person who is an idolater, who's a mushrik, an associator. And by the way, if you're a person who believes in the Quran, despite other people not having the same interpretation as you need to stick up for your friends. Because you might lose a few battles, but in the long run, you'll win the war. But if you're not fighting any battles, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, or physically, then you lost the war.
This is about what the Bible brings up. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you see the word one in the Bible, it doesn't mean one, okay? According to the Bible, it means triune. If you see the word begotten,
yes, and in the Bible, because he's ignorant, it is okay. It's not an insult. The one the Bible used, right? Ahad or Ahid or Wahid. Ahid. I think that's how it's pronounced. I know he's going to say I mispronounce it. It is not a one in the form of singularity. It means compound unity. It's not speaking about singular one. And it's the same thing is in Islam too. In Islam is what they use Ahad. Ahad is not one. Because Wahid means one, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is Wahid, as far as I know. But Ahad, it means one, but unification.
And hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Deuteronomy chapter 6:4. Pronouncing the oneness and unity of God. What could be more clear?
Yes, the Lord our God is one. And what is the word used there in Deuteronomy 6:4 and the Shema?
The Lord our God is Ahad, one. In Arabic, there's a similar word, it's Ahad, and if you want to say one or only one, there's a word you use. And in Arabic, the word would be Wahid, but that's not the word used here in Deuteronomy. It's Ahad.
So how do Trinitarians deal with this? Well, there are all sorts of ways to address this. This fellow, I don't know who he is, but he used one of the strangest ways that I've ever heard. This fellow used a very odd way, and that is to go through Arabic. And I don't know why he did that. Because as it turns out, the word ahad in literary Arabic means one alone, and it's famously used in the 112th surah. That's how it opens, that God is one and he's not begotten. That's the whole point.
You hear that? We are the confused one, not him. Okay, let's continue.
So why he's appealing to Arabic here is beyond me. It's very strange. And clearly, from listening to him, Arabic is not his native language.
Okay, in the Hebrew, it means compound unity. It's not speaking about singular one.
I think what he's trying to do is to say that the word echad in Hebrew means one and some sort of compound unity. That means when you hear the word one in Hebrew, echad, that means a compound of many things. And the way he sought to prove that is by quoting a passage in the Torah in Genesis chapter 2, where the Torah says that a man shall leave the house of his parents, and he should cleave unto his wife, and they should become one flesh. And the word there is echad. So isn't this a proof to everybody that you should understand that although echad means one, it doesn't mean one alone as a unity, but it means a compound unity. It means many things in one. So there's a very strange way he went about this. There is a very big difference between the word one and the word alone. The number one is a noun. The word alone is an adjective. They're totally different. And as it turns out, this is a false shuffle. A false shuffle because he is dealing from the bottom of the deck. Now, this fellow, I have no idea who he is. I'm sure he means well. And he's struggling to hold on to his Trinitarian beliefs. But he adopted this idea from Pastor Google. This comes from missionary websites and missionary audios and videos and books, but it's really rather silly. It's not true. And the word echad means one, the number one. It's a noun.
At 112, it says ahad, right?
Yeah,
Wal
ahad.
ahad, right?
Yes.
Wal ahad is the same thing as wahid, but it's a different sarf. It has the same root. So when you're saying that God only called himself once or singular in the Quran at one time, you're completely wrong. Because here's 2163, God is calling himself a singular, one. And then 21, 108, 108, قُلْ إِنَّمَا يُوحَى إِلَيَّ إِنَّمَا إِلَهَكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ فَلَا أَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. It is inspired to me that your deity is one. So are you a submitter? When we were pressuring Avery and David in regards to the word begotten, and we're saying we're speaking English, when I'm saying the word begotten has a definition, but he comes up with his own definition, which we're saying it's a biblical definition, which is not found in any dictionary. But when we're talking in Arabic, we're not making up explanations and words to the words that are clearly in the text. That is the point that we were talking about. And that is said a lot. وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. I gave you 2 examples, but that's said a lot in the Quran. And the thing that we were pressuring him is define what a begotten son is. And even if you want to go with the Greek definition, which is fine, you can go with uniquely begotten or one begotten. But however you want to twist it, it still goes back to the definition of what begotten means. So if you're going to talk in English and you're going to use the word begotten, you can't give me a definition that not only your scholars are coming up with, but not a single English dictionary is adhering to. Is that a lie?
No, it's not a lie. Why
It's
is
not a
it a
lie. If I could beat him, right? If I could beat him, but I
Yes.
chose not to beat him and convinced him that he beat me, that
Yes.
is not a lie.
No, it's not a lie.
Then what is that?
A lie is when he asks you, did you do this, and I lie, then that is a lie. But if I encourage
So actions don't lie.
What?
Well, you just complete, like, if I
Look at
convince
this.
you of something and
And
you
this is
never
the
ask
same
me, I
guy
didn't lie to
who
you.
believes
Like,
God.
one second, bro. Like, did you hear what you just said?
Hold on.
Hear what you just said? If
Yeah,
I said
Mohammed.
something to you and I convinced you and you never asked me, that means I didn't lie to you?
No,
If I
you
convince
know, you
you,
can do
if I
you can do
convince you the world is
hold
flat.
on. You can do
One
things
second.
to
If I
motivate.
convince
You can do things to motivate your children. You can do things to motivate your child. Your child could ask you, Papa, what is 2 + 2? And say, I don't really know what 2 + 2 is. But let's see.
I don't really know what 2 + 2 is.
that is
Yes.
not a lie.
No, it's not a lie.
Always lying to me. Why? You lying so much. Why?
That's not what I asked. Is God a man? Is God a man?
God became man.
So is he a man now?
God became man.
Is he a man now?
No.
Okay. So God is not a man. Thank
God
you. That was my
became man.
question. And
God
then he's now
became
not a
man.
man. And then he's now not a man.
He's not like physically with us. So kind of physical
You mean,
being.
I asked you a simple
Like
question.
me.
Is God a
Me?
man?
You
Right
see
now,
now?
is God a man
God
right
became
now?
man. God became man.
Right now, in this day and age, is he a man?
In this day ages, no,
He's
God
not.
is not a man.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
That
your time.
means
It was a
God
great-
cannot become man.
What?
That means God cannot become man or cannot
Like
come
come
into
in
his
flesh?
creation. Yes.
Well, that means he has to like eat.
Yes.
He has to eat.
Yeah,
Why?
he has to eat. If he
So
wants
God is
to.
gonna have a dependency.
Dependency. If he wants to eat, he can eat.
So did he need to or he didn't need to?
He can choose to eat. He cannot choose to eat.
So he took from his own like he didn't. He said if he didn't eat, would he stay alive?
He will stay alive.
He would stay alive. Well, why did he eat then?
Why eating
If
a
I
bad
never
one?
need to eat, yes. If I
He's
never eat
eating
to
a
eat,
bad
yes.
one.
If I never eat to
He's
eat, yes. You
eating
want
a
to repeat
bad
it?
one.
If I never need to eat, yes.
If you never need to eat, that is yes.
Yes. Then it's
What
bad.
law govern God that he doesn't need to eat?
Is dying bad? Is dying bad? Is dying
Dying is
bad?
not bad.
Is dying
Dying is
bad?
not bad.
Is dying
Dying is
bad?
not bad. It's not bad.
Dying is not bad? What if you're
Yes.
God? What if you're God? What if you're God? What if you're God? Then yes, it is bad. So eating
When-
is not bad. Eating is not bad. But if you're God, then it is bad. That's how
You know,
retarded this is.
Mohammed,
Like you got
I
caught,
thought-
bro.
I
You're
thought-
both getting caught. Situ, you're gonna attack my friend. You have absolutely no idea what the Arabic is saying, and then let the Bible speak. You're asking stupid questions that does not adhere to anything.
Christians, you are confused.
You hear that? We are the confused one, not him. Okay, let's continue.